This question looks at statutory interpretation and gives us three of the tools of statutory interpretation. So the first of these is the literal rule, where we simply give the words their ordinary dictionary meaning. So we read the statute, we interpret it, each word as you would in any other context. Now that does create a bit of a problem, and the problem is illustrated by the golden rule. And the intention here is to avoid absurdity when giving words their ordinary meaning. And the case of Crown and Allen is a great example of this. Now, in this case, Mr. Allen was accused of bigamy. And the statute said that whoever is already married and marries another commits bigamy. And Mr. Allen's defence was, well, actually, yes, I was already married, so yes, that was true. But because I was already married, when I went with this second person and went to church and did all that, I didn't actually marry them. The marriage wasn't valid. And therefore, the defence was, well, I haven't breached the law because I didn't marry somebody else. I would have been married if I wasn't married already. And of course, the courts then said, well, that's absurd. Because if you interpreted the words on that definition, nobody would ever be able to commit bigamy. What the court said was, the word marries in that context means goes through a marriage ceremony rather than being legally married. So that's the golden rule that allows us to avoid any absurdity here. Now, the third area here, the mischief rule, it asks, what is the mischief? What is the intention that the statute is intended to address? And therefore, in the context of this question, which of the following requires judges to consider the wrong which the legislation was intended to prevent? It is the mischief, the underlying intention. Now that gives judges quite a lot of scope, because it allows them to go certainly beyond the literal, even beyond the golden rule, to ask what is it they're trying to do, and therefore allows them to apply legislation in a much wider context.